Hello, ladies. I am here to say, please stop comparing your weight loss journey to that of your male counterpart. Be it your husband, your brother, your favorite uncle, whoever it is. I find a lot of women are partnering up with a male in their life, and they're embarking on the same diet and the same fitness routines, and then they come to me or we speak and they say, I am so frustrated. He has lost 50 pounds and I have lost 10. What on earth is going on? Well, let me tell you, ladies, we cannot embark on fitness plans that are made for mini men. We are not mini men. We have differences, physiological differences that mean that fat loss and weight loss are fundamentally different for us, as they should be. And so I'm going to talk about specifically what those things are, some of what those things are. So number one is actually fat storage. We are meant to store more fat than men. We are responsible for creating and maintaining the human race. I know some people are not going to like that, or like me saying that because of, maybe they're struggling with fertility issues. I myself, I know I did. And it can be frustrating to hear because you're like, well, tell my body that, because it certainly doesn't think so. But on an evolutionary level, that is what we are meant to be doing, and our bodies as a result are storing fats differently such that our hormonal profiles can be optimized, because as I've spoken about before, in order to create and maintain that hormonal homeostasis, we need fats. We need healthy fats. So that's number one. Number two is weight and body composition in terms of muscle mass. Even if you take a man and a woman who weigh the same starting out, you will find that in most cases, men have a higher muscle mass than women. I've even seen this in women who work out on a regular basis versus men who haven't hit the gym in 20 years and their muscle mass is still higher. So as a result of having that higher muscle mass, men are, shall we say, genetically gifted or preset to have a different metabolism, a higher metabolism, and it requires less work for them to lose fat. I know, I'm sorry to be the bearer of bad news, but it just is what it is. This brings me to point number three. If we do the same amount of work at the gym as our male counterparts, if we eat the same number of calories and we do the same number of minutes on the treadmill, research has shown that women have to do 25 to 33% more working out than men to expend the same number of calories. I know. Again, bad news on top of bad news today. Sorry, ladies. And number four, I just want to talk about how the industry is basically ignoring hormonal profiles when it's talking about weight loss. And it has us all wearing Fitbits and monitoring our non-energy activity thermogenesis, our NEAT, N-E-A-T. And it's not helpful. It's really, really not helpful. And on top of that, when we're talking about doing measurements and then following up with those measurements and repeating measurements, there's no discussion about when to take those measurements and how we may be comparing our body and our measurements at one point in our cycles, for example, to a different point in our cycles where in one part of the cycle, we were not holding much water. We had higher levels of testosterone, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And in another part of our cycle where we have higher progesterone levels and we are not processing our carbs as effectively as we were earlier in our cycle, and we're holding more water. And so we're comparing measurements at week 1 in a plan to week 3 measurements, and we're wondering why there's no difference when really you have made progress, but you're just comparing apples to oranges. So there's no discussion about how your hormones can affect those measurements. And we're also still seeing that women are going to cardio And I know this will be surprising to some, but even with all of the discussion around the importance of lifting weights and getting away from cardio, I still see time and time again that I'm meeting up with patients that have a goal for a weight management plan or weight loss plan. And they are going to cardio because it's what we are taught. It's basically the only form of physical activity that we really learn about through the educational system. And most people don't go on to learn a lot about movement in their lives. Not everybody's a personal trainer, and even people who do become personal trainers, like, they have to do a tremendous amount of learning on their own. Anyways, I digress, but people are still going that cardio route. As soon as they decide I need to lose weight, they're like, oh, I'm going to start going for walks, or I'm going to start going for runs. It's always that comes into their mind first. And as a result, they actually decrease their NEAT, their non-energy activity thermogenesis, and increase their EAT. Why? Because they're like, you know what, I deserve a break. I worked my buns off this morning. I went for a crazy run. And then you go to work and you choose the elevator over the stairs. You don't walk to work, you take the car because your legs are burning, and so on and so forth. So that non-energy activity thermogenesis decreases, and you eat more because you are working out. So I cannot say this enough. We need to move away from cardio towards high intensity interval training and weight training, incorporate in some isometrics, and boom, you have a recipe for magic. But you also need to look at hormonal profiling, and you also need to look at how what you're putting in your mouth is affecting those hormonal profiles. So I will leave it there for now. If you guys have any questions or comments, please post them below, and I will get back to you as soon as possible. Have a great day. Bye.